A principle in logic dictates that a single proposition maintains its value of truth by way of proper education that are not contingent or arbitrary, but are possible and necessary. Upon close examination, this applies to everything in life and even in death. A cause begets an effect that is coherent from that cause and no other. Where life is all that is known, everything that follows will ultimately lead into the unknown that is death. Knowledge about death is part of life, and upon reaching that point of no return, there is no guarantee of knowledge. A cause for love takes effect in loyalty and fidelity that is manifested in a plethora of ways. Where it ceases is when such ways no longer adhere to love and take course into something else that is outside of love. Irony in action is when a problem arises. We pursue that of which we consider the root of the problem which lies the solution. Where there arises a problem, it is only true to find and follow its solution by recognizing where the problem comes from. To this we are told, necessity is the mother of invention. Where there is a need, there is creation. Not only in mankind's creative nature is this observable, but in every single cause which begets an effect. The idea in the praxis, the thought in the speech, the potential in the kinetic, the root in the crop, the origin in the aftermath, the question and the answer. Such are we, the paramount of cause and effects, a proposition that is bottled with its education. We become and are becoming. We are the source of our own doings up to the point that we are our own doings. Humankind is defined by his thought and his actions, but individually we cannot apply this. For history does not tell a story of a single being, but a community of individuals that started out in mystery and will probably look into tomorrow as a mystery. Human action and experience are more or less describable in this manner. Today, much of everything in our immediate experiences are valuable. Objects, experiences, emotions, thoughts and ideas, relationships, and others. Take for instance these moments such as a sip of water, an uncontrollable laughter, a teardrop now and later, an attraction to song or verse, an amazement of picture and film, a kiss and a hug. All these are such, one moment here, a fleeting memory there, a mere thought later, and eventually, one moment lost forever. How beautiful are the machinations of life, and how odd are the climax of its moments. Much of what was mentioned are things that come to pass, for it is by the idea that much of life is fleeting by virtue of time, its presence and existence by virtue of space. But these days, we seem to have forgotten this. It is noteworthy to mention that much of these words are a product of a crisis that is both timely and timeless. Much of it will be forgotten. The writer takes no ill from this. But since it is timely and timeless, the writer hopes to remind those who behold and receive that we have forgotten the machinations of life, that it is fleeting. One asks, what nonsense is this? Indeed, what nonsense have we committed? All these things that we have taken much of value, sprawling in and out of us, in our joys and pains, our downfalls and victories. We have so much to take concern about ourselves, for our own sakes, that we have forgotten that life is fleeting, and have been led astray from what is truly of value. It is not that we have forgotten how to live, but that we have forgotten why we are alive for. We have become too entitled with the powers that we gained, the reputation that we have built, of things that we think we deserve, of things that only satisfies the eye and lost touch with the you, but so easily do we blame and point our fingers to them because we are right or entitled or deserving. We have become a sorry lot. How do we escape this sorry state, this horrible yet unbothered state? One asks, what does this have to do with the transience of life? To this, a reply can be made. Notice how even the greatest of things are not apprehended in terms of permanence, but of value, whether by moment or by function, whether by perfection or imperfection, whether by desire or lack thereof. The machination of life is said to be aimed towards this particularity, transient but good nevertheless, and we have forgotten this. Take a look outside. Behold the peace that seemingly rests. Is that what we are alive for? Look further. Reflect upon the idea by each time you can say that it is, that this is what we are alive for, and ask again, is this what we are alive for? But all these things that have been said can be rejected. To this the writer takes no ill or objection. For who are we but walkers upon this earth where we are bound by the laws of our own doing? Where do we find comfort in the mystery of our ill lives, of which we seem to know fully of what it is that we are doing, of things that we have willfully mastered? Where are we amidst the crises and problems that only we can recognize? Where are we amidst the problems that we do not fully know or even care to bother ourselves with, but are only of great genuine and authentic concern to the few? Problems that are accused of being nebulous and useless, or impractical to resolve. The things we only recognize when we are alone or when we are able to think of us as smart, well-woven punchline to stir temporary curiosity? We are a sorry lot. And how strongly are we offended by such a description? Therefore, we must fill the sorry state with hope, gather all that there is that we can do, and muster all that we can offer. But that will always be a given. Of course, there will always be something that will light a way for a resolution, a pebble for a landslide. But for how long? And how many will realize this? Who will think of this? Truly, we are a sorry lot. For now, we can only think and live on. Think of what? It is better left for the thinker to think of this than to answer this for the purpose of answering it by the emergence of necessity. For in necessity there is no thought. It is what it shall be. Hence we need to discern for ourselves the setting of cause and effect. To produce an effect, we must contemplate beforehand. Otherwise, we will only be following history and into what is happening now. A sorry lot.